Hello, just want to let you know how I'm getting on with xNorm. The free version will stay free and that's on Discord, but I've actually updated it and added new features to it. The version I'm working on now will actually go on the store. The free version will stay as is and you can use that for as long as you want. Basically what xNorm does, if you have a seamless texture, 2K by 2K for max will create terrains. 1024 by 1024 will create a standard normal map. So let's run xNorm and open that map. So go to the desktop, my sand texture, the 2K one, and straight away as soon as you open it, it creates the normal map. Once created, we can adjust intensity values and angularity. The intensity, the application will do the best it can at creating the intensity to what it believes is the best, and this looks okay. You can increase it, but bear in mind that this is very powerful, so an increase of 3.5 is quite a magnitude and it will show the actual individual grains, as you can see here. So it's showing the grains of sand. Might not need that, so if we take it back down to 1, that's actually 2, let's take it to 1. There we have the intensity set at 1. The other thing that you notice that the pits on the image are actually lumps on the normal map. So if you do notice things like that, just right click on the normal map and invert it. So the Y value is correct now, so the pits are actually pits. So once you've created your normal map, you can save it. So we can save it here. So the normal map is actually there, ready to be used. Well, let's create some terrain textures. Max requires 2K by 2K texture, and it also needs a normal and surface map in a particular format. So what we can do here, we've got our normal created, so let's generate some max terrain maps, and we see we've got an AO, a gloss and a metalness. Now each of these can be adjusted, so if we double click the AO we can adjust the bias, so we can actually make it stronger, or in this case lighter, or stronger. Obviously the darker it is, the more shadows it casts. So if you just leave it at that, double click again and go to the gloss map. Now with the gloss we can either have a shiny effect, wet effect on the sand, or a dry effect. So for this one we'll go with the smooth and we'll make it as wet as possible, so we'll have to increase the metal bias to shiny. So if we take that right up, there we go. So these are our maps and this will be a wet look sand. So if we export for max terrain, and what you'll notice in here now, that it's created the normal, the colour and the surface, but what it also creates are the AO, gloss and metalness PNGs, so that you can take these into another application, edit them as you wish. No need to, but you can do. So let's test these in max. So if we copy these, well, I'll tell you what we'll do first. Let's make a backup of a material in max. So if we go to program files, Steam, you can find Steam, Steam apps, common, Game Guru Max, go to files, terrain textures, and I'll copy this one out. So I've got a copy of the material 7, go into there and I'll delete these, and now I'll place my textures, which is the colour, normal and surface. I copy them into there. So this is under mat 7. Obviously the description will be incorrect in Max, but it is my texture. So let's close xNorm and run Max. Okay, I'll just do a blank level and we'll paint the terrain. So if we go to terrain, paint, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's my sand texture, but obviously the description is desert jagged rock. But if we paint this and then go down, you see the wet look. So if we run it, and it's overly shiny, very shiny. So this could be the water's edge, wherever, but if it wanted dry sand, all we need to do is go back into xNorm, open the sand texture again, invert the normal map, and then generate the terrain maps. Now what we want to do now is make it so that the sand is not shiny, so we'll make it as rough as possible. I think we'll have the pebbles or the shells a little bit shiny actually, so if we bring that down a little bit, yeah, that'll do. And then the mattness, we want that to be 0 as it were. Okay, so we'll export that. Yes, we want to overwrite the arena. You can put them in a different folder if you want, but for this purpose I'm just going to overwrite them. So if we're in the sand texture now, as you can see straight away the surface is a completely different colour. So let's copy these. Go back to our mat 7 folder and overwrite all of those. Now if we go into Max and paint that sand texture, terrain, paint, still on 7 because that's the one that we used. If we run that, it's no longer shiny or wet. So you have control over how your textures will look. I'm still refining some things, making the app a little bit quicker. If I can think of anything else, I will also add that. But thanks for watching. Bye for now.